All right, so I've actually been using this thing for quite some time now since I did that other portion of the video. And I got to tell you, there is a lot to love about this device. I put a whole bunch of time and consideration into buying this device, even though it's only 240 bucks during the holiday season. Again, I paid 220 bucks for it because I had some coupons, but this is more than impressive. Let's get down and dirty with the specs real quick. This has the new 21:9 aspect ratio, first of all, and it's a 6.3-inch 1080p display. And the camera on the front is a little hole on the top up there. And in the rear, obviously, has that triple camera setup with the dual LED tone flash. And the fingerprint reader is actually in the Motorola logo. Now, you see up top, you have the headphone jack. And then down here, you have Type-C microphone and a speaker down there. And then you have the volume rocker and power button. And it's a little bit ridged, not as ridged as I would like it. And you got another microphone up there. And your SIM tray SD card slot is over here. And obviously, I went with the white version for a number of reasons, because my previous Motorola was white. And it still is white. It's just I dropped it and cracked it. But Motorola, this still works, by the way. But this is the Motorola device that I chose to go with. This is pretty much a nice upgrade from my G7. But the screen is a IPS LCD panel, but it is 6.3 inches, and it is actually beautiful at 1080p, 1080 by 2520, which gives it that huge 432 pixels per inch count because of that 21:9 aspect ratio. Now it's 176 grams, but it feels a lot lighter than that, man. It feels really good in the hand because it's so narrow, and it's just a very lightweight device for some reason. LTE, this is unlocked for all carriers, so you can use this on Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, any prepaid carrier. It's just that good. This has 4 gigs of RAM, and it has 128 gigs of storage, and that is more than enough to power this device. And it has a processor that you wouldn't think it would have. It actually doesn't have a Snapdragon processor or Qualcomm. It has a Exynos 9609. It's running Android 1, obviously, so it's going to get all the updates directly from Google, so that's good. And then you have Android 9. It's on the October security patch, but I'm sure I'll get another update for this device. So this is actually a plastic body, and this is a glass screen, but it looks premium, and you wouldn't tell that this was plastic just by looking at it. This phone was actually released back in August, and we're in December at the recording of this video. Really took some time to decide whether or not I was going to get this. Really did. So 3,500 milliamp hour battery in this one, and then the camera setup is a 12, 16, and a 5. And then on the front, you have that 12 megapixel, which is absolutely ridiculous. This phone records in 4K on the front and the rear. Let me say it again for the people in the back. This phone records on the front and the rear, and it is just absolutely ridiculous, man. The testing I'm doing, or just me using the device, it's absolutely stunning, man. The footage is more than enough, because this price tag, paying 249 bucks for this is, I don't know, it's unbelievable, man. So you've got an ultra wide action camera, which is really good. You got AI cameras, the triple camera setup, like I said. You got all of the Moto actions where you switch and do all that. And you got the chop to get the light going on there. But all the Moto actions and things are there. You got Dolby Audio, which is really nice and clear. You got fast charging. You know, it's just going to be a great experience, man. With the Google Assistant, I actually have the buttons turned on. You know, Motorola has that one button navigation. And again, 128 gigs onboard storage with an SD card. You can't beat it. This cinematic screen here, the Cinema Vision Full HD Plus display is what they're calling it, is really that good. It's a really nice, very nice screen. But the highlights of this device, because it's called the Moto One Action, the Motorola One Action for a reason, is because it has a function for an action. It's got an action key within the actual camera. So when you go to video here, it pops up right here, and now you're switching to the action camera. So you actually hold this in this orientation, but when you put your video out, it actually comes out in a regular orientation. So that's pretty cool. And so while talking about the cameras, it's time to get into the cameras, and then we'll go back and go ahead and close this video out. All right, guys, so here's the front camera on the Moto One Action. This camera records in 1080p. This is 1080p at 60 right now, but it also does 4K, and I'll switch to that too. This is impressive, folks. For a phone that costs, I'm looking at the viewfinder, for a phone that costs $240, and I got it for $220 because I had some coupons. This is impressive, and this is the front camera, 1080p 60. Now let's see how 4K can handle this on the front. All right, now here is 4K on the front camera. It also shoots 4K at 21:9 aspect ratio, so that's impressive. These cameras overall are just really, really solid. And now I'll give you some rear camera action. All right, guys, here is 4K on the rear. Looking pretty solid. Microphones look really good on here. Yeah, this is great. I'm really impressed with that front camera. And then I'll switch over to 1080p here in just a second. The triple camera setup on here is actually really, really sweet. So let's switch over to 1080p. All right, here's the action shot. Kind of running down the stairs, moving around a lot. This is pretty sweet. This is really nice. Really like this. I'm running right now. I don't know if you could see. I'll see how it is too on the action. You hold it in the portrait orientation for the video for action. Like if you're gonna be running, this is the Moto One Action. So I just ran down the stairs. I don't know how well that's done, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this against my GoPro and see how it works. But that's an action shot at 1080p 60. Now this phone has a fingerprint reader in the back here, and it's fairly fast, and it also has fast facial recognition as well. Not as fast as I would like it to be, but it's definitely fast enough for you to be able to unlock your phone. Now this came with a free case already on the device, and I thought that was pretty cool. I'm glad that Motorola is, you know, it's crazy that the phones that don't cost a lot of money come with the free case, and I find that very strange. But this phone does come in 2 colors, and I think that's very impressive. I was going to go with the blue, but you know, it would just pick up so many fingerprints, and I don't really like to wear cases around the house. This clear case is obviously not my favorite. It's really cheap. It's just something to keep you over for just a little bit until you decide to buy your own case. But ultimately, the industry's first ultra-wide action camera on a smartphone is what they're calling it. You can grab this for $100 off. I personally walked into Best Buy, and I bought this from Best Buy because the white was sold out on Motorola's website at the time when I was trying to purchase it. So it's in the holiday season. If we're out of the holiday season, just know that in the holiday season, this was $100 off, or you can get this plus a free Moto G6. So I don't need a Moto G6, and I said I'm going to take the lowest price possible because it's so much packed into this device that I tell you 4K on the front and the rear, that's ridiculous. So I decided to go ahead and get it for $249, but then I had another coupon and got it down to $220 when I walked into Best Buy. And that's the only reason I bought it from Best Buy is because they were sold out on Motorola. I took so long procrastinating, I had to get out of the review phase for other devices. And I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I give this phone my all. My main SIM card is in here. It does have 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It's not a 5G device, but that's okay for $249 if you're able to grab it at that. And I'm going to go ahead and say that even at $350, this is actually a really stellar purchase, man. I would recommend this, and this is just my first impressions of the device after using it all day. I gotta tell you, it's nighttime right now. Well, it's like 6:30, 6:15 almost, but I got this earlier in the day. As you can see from the video footage, it is absolutely stunning, folks, to see in person. It's a really fast phone. You know, the 4 gigs coupled with the 9609 or 9606 or whatever processors in here from Exynos, it is actually really impressive. Now, again, this is the first impression, so I'm kind of wondering how this is going to last, and I will find out. I mean, for $240, what do you want me to do? This is absolutely fantastic. So I'll have more coverage on this, obviously. I'm curious to check out that battery. I'm curious to do more footage with the cameras. I want to compare this next to where's my GoPro Hero 8 Black at? Oh, I guess it's downstairs or something. Oh, oh my God. I am losing it, folks. I'm actually recording with my GoPro Hero 8 Black. I'm losing it. Oh, okay. My Hero 7 is downstairs. I have a Hero 7 Black as well, but I'm going to compare it against the 8 because the 8 has just the smoothest stabilization when running and stuff like that. Hyper smooth is what they're calling it, but this action camera actually has very stable video. So it's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is my new Motorola One Action, and I hate that I waited so long to get this because, folks, it is fantastic.